94.9 CHRW. My name is Brian Tong, and I'm the host of Underground Currents. I have Shane from Silverstein with me today. How are you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. It's been a great day despite the weather.
Yeah,
so
the weather's a bit of a bum out, especially since we've done 3 weeks of the tour, and it's rained for about a total of 10 minutes. And then today, of course, Toronto.
Yeah, because I've been told the weather's been fantastic so far, except for today.
Yeah, it has, absolutely. It's been great every day. It's been hot. It was really hot out on the West Coast and in Vegas and Phoenix. It was very, very hot, really? But I'd still take that over the rain.
And welcome back to Canada as well, because I know you guys have gone around the world. Now you're back in Canada.
Yes, literally, if this building, I'm sure it's in the shot, if this building wasn't here, you could see my condo. I literally live right there. So definitely back home.
You guys are from Burlington, Ontario. So for those who don't know about that area, what can you tell people about Burlington?
Well, I'm from Oakville actually, but it's kind of the same. It's just one town over. It's very affluent community. It's a lot of money. Not a lot of crime. Not overly a lot of things to do either for kids, but one thing that we had growing up was a really great music scene. We had a lot of places we were able to rent out, like venues, like hall shows and everything. We'd rent a PA, and and people would come. Yeah, and that's really what the scene, Canadian scene was built on, and so many bands came out of the area, from the same area as us, like Boys Night Out and Monine and Alexis on Fire and Billy Talent. Yeah. They all grew up the same time as us in the same scene, and we all played shows together. That's awesome. And it was a really special thing. I used to think that growing up, that existed everywhere. Mm-hmm. I thought every major city had, a suburban punk scene or whatever, and I was very mistaken. So I didn't really realize how good I had it, how special it was here in the Toronto suburbs. Yeah,
I'm from Markham actually, so I know what you mean when there's no music scene, because we have nothing. And
it's spread a little bit. So we'd have the 905 scene, we used to call it. In the west suburbs was really good, and then that kind of spread into Hamilton a little bit, and then London actually had a pretty good scene. So we were able to sort of sustain this really nice radius in Southern Ontario, which I just assumed happened everywhere, but nope. It's there were very few scenes. I know Long Island, New York was one where Taking Back Sunday and Brand New and a whole slew of bands came out of, and then Southern California had a really good scene like that. But other than that, it was pretty dry. So we were really lucky here.
You guys are no stranger to Warped Tour, so I was wondering what favorite moment at Warped Tour do you have in terms of a good memory or whatever?
Well, it's our 5th Warped Tour playing, and I've been to it every year since 1997. Wow,
this is my first.
Really? Yeah. So it's 1990s. I don't know how many years that is. I think I've been to 16 Warped Tours or something. Wow. So it's funny. What is amazing to me is how little it's changed. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much the same as it was, even back then. So there's so many memories I have. I remember the first Warped Tour I went in, and I walked in, and the first person I saw was 2 dudes from Lagwagon, which were at the time my favorite band, and I was shocked. I couldn't. For me, I was 16, and I couldn't believe that there were just band members walking around. I was this is I couldn't believe this huge band Lagwagon. I mean, to me it was the craziest thing, and right away I was this is just so awesome, and the whole vibe and everything it kind of at that young an age for me, it sort of became. I knew it was something that I was a part of, even at that age. And I never knew I'd be in a band playing it or anything, but never thought that at all. Mm-hmm. But it was cool to really feel a part of something, and it was a special time. So
what would you suggest to people who are going to Warped Tour first time, or bands who are coming in for the first time at Warped Tour? How would you say to them how to survive Warped Tour?
You have to expect chaos and plan for the worst, really, because every day is different. Mm-hmm. There's no real today actually kind of sucked for us. We were on early, we decided, last night, we'll go home and hang out. So then we had to come in, and there's all the traffic, and we dealt with all the worst, and it's raining. So I think you have to really just kind of don't 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 expect things to go perfectly, and just kind of roll with the punches, because that's what it's going to be. Whether you're coming out, you're gonna miss a few bands that you want to see. It's gonna happen. You're going to have trouble with getting food or getting out of the sun or whatever. There's always issues, so you just have to kind of roll with the punches and make the best of the day.
Yeah, I've heard like lines for food can go up to like an hour.
It's everywhere's different. Like some places, they have like awesome food set up with different stands. Other places it's like you have to wait in line and buy a fucking ticket or something. And like then it's like, is this the line for the tickets, or the line to get the tickets to get the food, or the line for the food if you have the tickets? It's like, what the fuck? So every day's different, but we do what you do. This is what we do. So
now, your first record, When Broken Is Easily Fixed, came out 10 years ago. Do you guys feel old at all?
Not particularly old. It's a little weird because we haven't done the tour in 4 years, and I'd say 4 years and the years before that we felt like the kind of young band with like the chip on our shoulder, the older punk rock bands like didn't understand us, and now we're like the old guys, and like we're the band like looking at these other bands being, what the fuck is this like music, this like techno hardcore shit, like we don't get it. So it's sort of funny, but it's like there was never that point where we just felt we were right in the middle, like we were just the average. There's obviously that was a time, but it seems like we went from being the young kids to like now the old guys. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, the gray hairs are starting to show.
You can see them. They're coming in. They're coming in hard.
We started with your oldest record, and we're gonna go over to your latest record. This Is How the Wind Shifts. I've kind of read about what the concept is, but it kind of flew way over my head. So what in the dumbest way possible, let's say Silverstein for dummies, how does This Is How the Wind Shifts, what is that about?
Well, it's a concept album, and we did a concept album before that was very linear, very like a movie, where you have a beginning, middle, end. It's a story, and this time we decided, instead of doing that, to do parallel tracks with side A of the record and side B of the record. So track 1 corresponds with track 8, and track 2 corresponds with track 9, etc. So there's sort of like 7 mini stories, I guess you could say, and they're all basically, the concept is the what if something was different, what if something changed. People always think about that in their life. It's like, for me it could be like, what if we never started this band, where would I be in my life? So it's sort of like a take on that. So I might have one song that's about something happening, and then another one that is if one moment was different, where that person would have been, and the song titles kind of flow into each other, so they have and it was kind of cool. It was like, instead of writing one big long story record, it was kind of like writing 7 short stories. And it was a lot of fun. It was difficult. We have songs that like overlap. If you play them at the same time, it like forms a third song. Cool. So we did like some crazy stuff like that.
That's awesome.
But overall, it was a lot of fun to make, and it's been very well received. So it's a good feeling to feel like you make your best music, 13 years later.
Yeah. So I was actually going to ask, like, now that you've been around for quite some time, how do you guys feel about maturing from your first record to This Is How the Wind Shifts? Like, what kind of musical direction do you think has varied from these past 10 years?
It's like, it's kind of weird to say, but I'm not like a super music guy. Like, I don't listen to a lot of music. I'm not on the cutting edge of like all the cool new bands that come out. I still listen to the same bands I listened to when I was 17 years old.
Okay.
And sure, there's like, I'm not saying that's all I listen to, but those are still my favorite bands, and they're still like what my influence is. So the things that have sort of changed, that have led us to expand our sound and evolve, it's been kind of a natural evolution of maturity and growth, and our like life experience, and even bands we've toured with, seeing what they've done. I think that has influenced me more than listening to music. So I don't know. It's hard. The other guys in the band would feel differently. Like Paul, like our drummer, he's like top 10 list every year, or like 10 bands I've never even fucking heard of. So so we're all different. But for me, it's like, I still love bands I listened to when I was 16. I still listen to them all the time.
Let's go into some. I know that you're into basketball, true or false?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a lot of sports.
Oh, what do you play anything?
I used to play basketball in high school, despite my height, and I played baseball growing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of following like professional sports, I pretty much follow it all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're probably a huge fan of the Jays. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
They got stomped last night, 11-1.
Yeah.
If you were to give any advice to the GM, what do you think? What do you think the Jays have to do to improve themselves so they can get into maybe a wild card spot?
Well, it's tough because I thought they put together a pretty good team, and I thought the problem was going to be their bullpen. Turns out their bullpen is their best part. So what the hell do I know, But I'm not a general manager. I don't, just post a note to tell, Alex Anthopoulos what to do. But at the same time, I think if they could go out and get, maybe trade a reliever and try to get a second baseman.
Yeah.
Because I think second base is a real tough position right now. They don't really have anybody that's, they have some guys platooning, but if they get a second baseman, trade somebody who's got a lot of value right now in the bullpen because they have so much. There's such a deep bullpen, or trade. Somebody like even maybe if Dustin McGowan has some value, if he's pitching well and he's throwing he's clocked at 97.
Yeah,
it's killing it. So maybe some team thinks they can make him a starter, and maybe he's some more value. I don't know, but whatever. I hope the Jays can get back to that 11 in a row kind of streak.
Yeah, it looks like we're falling 11 in a row now at this point.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, just to wrap things up, what do you guys plan to do to finish off 2013 and to lead off to 2014?
We got a tour coming this fall, which hasn't been announced yet, but we're supporting another band.
Okay.
It should be good. And then we're supposed to be doing this very cool thing in Toronto with another band too.
Okay.
Which I can't wait. I wish I could talk about it, but I can't yet. And so we'll be up to stuff. We're going back to Europe again. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of new videos, and some stuff we haven't done before, live stuff, videos, and so we're really up to a lot, and we're going to just continue to work, and it's what we do.
Yeah.
It's what we do. Yeah.
What is there anything you want to say to fans out there, or any final messages?
Fans, thank you for your support. Thank you for 13 years now of great times for me, and hopefully for you too. And again, if you haven't checked out our new record, if you're still listening to the 2005 stuff, get it on the new record. It's called "This Is How the Wind Shifts." I feel it's our best. I'm really not. I know every band says that. I'm not just saying that. It's been well reviewed. It's really feels good to be able to honestly say that. So check it out.
On behalf of CHRW and myself, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview, and I'll see you all later.